Hello, hello, hello. It is the DE Diva, aka the Delaware blogger, coming to you with another episode of Podcasting Your Purpose. This is a thankful Thursday. It was a beautiful Thursday. I had some Zoom meetings this morning with some other successful business owners. So it's going to be an exciting next couple of weeks. So I hope you guys are doing well on this wonderful Thursday. The topic for today is podcasting remotely. And it's so funny because everybody's remote now. Working from home and remote has taken on a whole new it's just different. It's not different. It's normal. When I was working from corporate America back in 2005, 2006, I had the ability to work from home. So it was a new concept then, but now everyone is working from home remotely. And so podcasting, again, you may think about, being in your home or calling someone up on the phone, whether you're using Anchor FM or Zoom to connect with your guests, those people that you want to invite on your podcast. But yesterday I was reading and I found some other great podcasting platforms when you need to podcast remotely. Because we're going to come to a point that people are going to get sick and tired of just doing everything via Zoom, or even if you're on Anchor FM, there is that option to record with friends, but you should know that there are also other options. And I also want to talk about, before I leave, is the power of podcasting for businesses and to create a private podcast. I touched on that the other day. As a matter of fact, I'm keeping a list of the topics of what I'm talking about on a regular basis. And yes, it was on Monday. I talked about private podcasting, and I really was more specific about schools and educators and teachers. But today, or actually tomorrow, I'm going to touch on more on podcasting privately for businesses and why it can be a game changer, not only for the industry leaders, but for their peers as well as for their employees, and just really kind of getting themselves out there and or keeping their current work staff involved in what's going on. So that's going to be tomorrow. I'm going to talk about private podcasting in the professional world, as opposed to just for students, for educators and schools. So again, like I said, we can record a podcast from anywhere. That is one of the powerful things about podcasting. You can create a podcast from almost anywhere. And that's great if you're doing it solo. If you're using your phone, your smartphone, or even if you're using a mic. Remember, I have this additional mics here. Let me show you. This one I plug into my phone when I'm doing my Anchor FM recordings, and when I'm doing my blog, Your Way to a Business Profit, which is my podcast on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. with EC, Elite Conversations Life Radio Podcast. That's every Wednesday at 1. Yesterday, I talked about creating content for your blog. And that podcast is wonderful because I give you branding and blogging tips that's going to help you take that passion and turn it into a profit with your blog. So that's every Wednesday at 1. If you want to, let me give you the link so that you can listen to that as well. Let me go here and give you the link. Where is that? I'm still learning about this live stream, StreamYard thing as well. So it's pretty cool. I think my mouse got stuck, but that's okay. It is bit.ly, bit.ly/blog, 2 profit. bit.ly, bit.ly/blog, and 2 profit. So this is going to be interesting because if my mouse is not working, I'm not going to be able to end this baby. So let's see what's going on. You got to love technology. Oh, there it is. It's working. Yay! Blog Your Way to a Business Profit every Wednesday at 1. Again, bit.ly, bit.ly/blog to profit. That is where I'm giving you blogging tips each week. And on Anchor FM, I also give you some podcasting pointers. So here I am on YouTube as well. And so today we're going to talk about podcasting remotely. And again, if you have the option to get guests, from all over the world. You want to give them options. And so I'm going to share with you a few that I read. I'm just sharing this with you, but I want you to check them out. Let me know what you think. If you found one better than the other, or if you have another one that you have to share, please make sure you let me know as well. So podcasting, there's one called SquadCast. And it says SquadCast allows podcasters to schedule the interview, right? And all you have to do is send the link to your, oh, wait a minute, SquadCast allows podcasters to schedule the interview. You can record everyone's audio in a separate WAV file. So if you've got multiple interviews or multiple guests, they can access from their time at their specific time, then you can combine them. That's pretty cool. I need to find out about that. But here's another one, Zencastr, Zencastre. And I'll put this in the show notes because, again, I found this. And all you have to do with this one, similar to Anchor FM, is to send the link. And once the guest gets that link, they just hit record, and then you'll start recording, and you're good to go. And I also like to tell you, when you are sending, or when you're sending a request for interviews with your guests, make sure that they are in a quiet location, not outside. And if they are in their vehicle, this has happened to me, make sure that they're not going through their car's Bluetooth, because that sounds terrible. Ask them to go directly from their smartphone or from their laptop, okay? Here's another one, cleanfeed.net. Now, this allows you to record separately or together, and then you can bring them together. So you can create, have them do one part, you do another part, and then you can bring them together. Ringr is another one. You can invite a guest or multiple guests, and they can join the call from their desktop or from their mobile device. Again, we are so used to being able to have the option of both. Now that we are working from home or working remotely, most of us are going through our laptop. And that's another great topic. I'm going to talk about that. Drop the mic. You can actually drop the mic from your phone and go from your laptop or from your workstation to record a podcast. Zoom, again, Zoom is what everyone knows. And when you record on Zoom, you're going to save that file. It's going to be an MP4 file, and then you'll just convert it to an MP3, and then you just upload that to your hosting platform, whether it's Anchor or, again, Elite Conversations podcast, EC Radio podcast. So, and there's other Libsyn, I think Blueberry. There's a bunch of other platforms out there, but I'm definitely with Anchor and with EC Radio podcast. And Skype's been around for a minute. You can do that as well. There's one called Rodecaster Pro, RODE, Caster Pro. And that one is probably a little bit more expensive, but try it. And speaking of trying it, here's another one, Tryca.st. Tryca.st. This is talking about how you can actually record and mix and edit. So that's pretty cool too. And of course, right here on StreamYard, I am asking my friends and fellow entrepreneurs and solopreneurs and side hustlers and podcasters and bloggers how they love StreamYard. And I've got nothing but thumbs up. So I'm probably going to upgrade to the Pro so that I can take advantage of some of the other options. And before I let you go, there's one other one, UberConference. UberConference is great because that is, I've done that before as well. When I'm recording and then, I can say, take a break, I can pause the recording. Then that way, when I'm editing, I can put a commercial in as well. So UberConference is another great site or application that you can use for podcasting. So today, I just want to come with you really quickly. I'm not taking up a whole lot of your time, but I just want to let you know that podcasting is very powerful. I tell you all the time, in my Podcasting Your Purpose book, these are still available. I'm selling these like crazy. 42 pages of awesome information about not only what is a podcast, but why you want to start a podcast, the power of podcasting, planning a podcast, podcasting like a pro. What do you need? You need, more than your phone. What kind of mic do you need? Podcasting for profit, monetizing and sponsorships, podcasting hosting plans. Remember, I told you about Anchor and also Elite Conversations Radio, and podcasting on Anchor FM gives you soup to nuts as well. And I give you some hints and tips. I give you this schedule here so you can plan out your podcast, your planner, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that is one thing that I offer as far as that mini coaching session. I have that 60-minute coaching session, which is only $77. And a lot of people say, well, what do you get with that? Well, you know what? You get a lot of information with that. Not only do you get printables in the books, but you will get information. We will go from soup to nuts, from your podcast title, description, publishing date, what social media websites you're going to be using, your blog post, whatever, what equipment, microphone, headphones, software you're going to use, your hosting platforms. We talk about the dates, the topics, your guests, and the guest release form. That's very important. You want to have a release form for your guests that are going to be appearing on your show, because you may and you will be using them for promotional purposes, but you want to make sure that you get that release. That's that legalese. So you want to make sure you do that. Your intro music, your monologue, your mid-roll, your outro music, sponsorships, your artwork. How are you going to create it? So we get all that deep dive into that. And that's a $77 package. Again, I still have the books, the brochures, the web books available, as well as the basic blogging tips for beginners. This book bundle is $26. If you are interested in learning more, or if you'd like to place an order, go to info@ablakeenterprises.com, because I have them available and they will really help you get started. So let me just leave you with why I always tell you why you want to start a podcast. The power of podcasting. It is convenient and easy to consume. Yes, you can create a podcast anywhere and everywhere, and people can consume it anywhere. They could be walking their dog, they could be working out, they could be gardening, they could be in church, they can be wherever. So you definitely want to make sure that you are starting your podcast. Again, if you're creating that intimate relationship with your target market audience, it increases and expands your brand online. We are in a digital world. Everyone is connecting via digital marketing. And if you are blogging, vlogging, you have a website, you're on live streaming, you're podcasting, this is a great way to expand and broaden your brand online. We're not going back from this. There is going to be a new normal. This is how we're going to be marketing. As a matter of fact, tonight, it seems like, even the NFL is doing their draft from home remotely, right? It's inexpensive and easy to produce. You know what? A lot of people say, I don't like to be in front of the camera. Well, with a podcast, you do not need to be in front of the camera. You don't need to do your hair. You don't need to do your makeup. You don't even have to get dressed up. You can do it in your Jimmy Jams. Like I said, find a quiet room, go into a closet, a bathroom, create a fort, put a towel or a blanket or a comforter over 2 chairs and get in there and talk, and you'll muffle that sound. You can get headphones. Headphones are great, whether you're going to use headphones on your computer, headphones for your laptop, headphones for your smartphone. Just do it. It gives you a forum, again, to interview others, just like we talked about today. Podcasting remotely. Is there someone that you want to interview? You'd love to interview. There are many applications, many products and services out there that makes it easy. So there's no excuse for anyone ever to say, well, I don't like Zoom, or I don't like Skype, or I don't like this, or I don't like that, because I just gave you a bunch that you can use. And I'm pretty sure there's others that are popping up all over, because this is big money. Spotify, Apple, iTunes, they're all involved. And you know what? It's a great way, again, to share your voice, your vision, and your message. It builds trust with your audience. Like you, trust you, buy from you. That's right. Once people start hearing you, again, you are creating that intimate relationship, because the biggest sexual organ, or the largest sexual organ in a human body, is between their ears, and that's their brain. So when people plug their earbuds into their ears or put their headphones on their ears, you are plugged into them. You are creating an engagement. You are creating an intimate relationship. You are getting more people, more eyes. It's like the audience. Again, I keep talking about that pebble. Throw that pebble, and a ripple effect, it's out there. So smart money is moving towards podcasting. Spotify, iHeartRadio, newspapers, magazines, everybody is starting a podcast division. You need to start your podcast show. With artificial intelligence and Wi-Fi readily available by the year 2022, maybe we'll be a little off because of everything that's happening. But by that time, every vehicle that rolls off the showroom floor will be autonomous, meaning it will be self-driving. So what will you be doing while your car is taking you from point A to point B? You're not going to be sleeping or reading. You're going to be listening to a podcast. You're going to be learning. You're going to be educated. You're going to be inspired, or you can just be informed with a podcast. So make sure that your voice is out there. Podcasts are the norm. I mean, 75, 85, 95% of every American knows what a podcast is. And people are listening to podcasts now more than ever. What else do they have to do? It's easy. You can listen to a podcast. You don't have to stop and read a book. You don't have to stop and read a blog post. You don't have to stop and watch a live stream video. You're just listening with your earbuds. Again, podcasting is no longer a fad or future, just like a blog is no longer the fad or future, and everyone is doing it. Our favorite couple, or at least my favorite presidential couple, the Obamas, they're starting their podcast. Oprah started a podcast. Joe Biden started a podcast. Who else? Andrew Yang, Ted Cruz, everyone is starting a podcast. So if you want to learn more about how you can start your podcast, please send an email to me, and we will do a complimentary 30-minute discovery call to decide what it is that you want to talk about. And then we can create, get a schedule for you for 60 minutes, and we'll do that deep dive, and I'll hold your hand all the way through till you're ready to launch your podcast. If you simply just want the book, it's $15.99. It's a Cash App, PayPal. I'll send you an invoice again, but together the book bundle is $26, no shipping charges extra. Basic blogging tips for beginners. So tomorrow, as we end what is considered now working remotely work week, I'm going to talk about podcasting for businesses, for professionals. And speaking of podcasting for professionals, if you get a chance this evening at 7 p.m., I'm going to be live with my co-marketing masters, Daryl Spears and Kathy E. Smith, and we're going to be talking about how you pivot during the pandemic for professionals and entrepreneurs. So go to the Co-Marketing Masters Facebook page tonight at 7 to get some tips on staying healthy during these work at home times. You got to get up, move around, because sitting is the new smoking, and you don't want to tax your heart. So again, thank you guys so very much for tuning into today's episode of Podcasting Your Purpose, again, with Antoinette Blake, the DE Diva, aka the Delaware blogger, as we talked about podcasting remotely and some applications that'll make it really easy for you. And until the next time, stay smart, stay safe, and stay social from a distance, because I will see you in cyberspace. See ya. It's the DE Diva, aka the Delaware blogger. Have a beautifully blessed day. Bye-bye.